May 25th, 1998.
And liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
8 years ago, the near-sighted Hubble Space Telescope was the most expensive piece of space junk in the universe. And then,
I mean, an enormous difference, like putting on a pair of eyeglasses. Suddenly we could see the universe very clearly.
now repaired, the Hubble telescope has opened a window to the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. Black holes, dark matter, quasars, colliding galaxies.
We're just getting an early glimmer of what's going to turn out to be the real story of how the universe is constructed.
We live in a fairly mysterious universe. I think there are enormous surprises that are still in store.
Tonight, mapping the cosmos, answering questions, and questioning the answers.
From ABC News, this is Nightline. Substituting for Ted Koppel and reporting from Washington, Forrest Sawyer.
Choose the qualities that define mankind, and high on the list is curiosity. For as long as we can remember, and surely much longer than that, we have looked up at the night sky and wondered what we were seeing. And we've always managed to come up with answers. The twinkling lights are lanterns, or gods perhaps. And those answers have always turned out to be wrong. And now, just when we thought we were getting a grip on things, the Hubble Space Telescope is coming up with yet stunning new information. In fact, we're sitting smack in the middle of a revolution in the sky, with scientists pummeled by new data, forcing them to rethink, well, everything. So we thought maybe it's about time to take a look at why astronomers these days are shaking their heads in astonishment at what they're learning. And we thought our senior science correspondent, physicist Michael Gillen, would be the perfect tour guide. Maybe after Michael's through, the next time we go stargazing and figure we know what we're seeing, we'll think again. Maybe the universe is not only stranger than we know, it's stranger than we can know.
From very far away, and a long time ago, comes this image of a collision between two galaxies, so violent, so tremendously powerful, all the dust and gaseous debris was literally set on fire. And 1,000 times more brilliant still, this picture of a quasar, brightest object ever discovered. Elsewhere, inside this huge towering incubator, another star was being born, while these newly hatched galaxies came to life somewhere in the outskirts of the visible universe.
We can see objects whose ghostly remnant has traveled for billions of years. They are so far away, some of them have died. We are seeing them not as they are, but as they were.
By piecing together these childhood pictures of the cosmos, these snapshots of what it used to look like, many astronomers now believe they're on the verge of understanding how the universe came to be.
The data is coming in so fast now that it really does look like in a period of 5 to 10 years, all of the big mysteries now are very likely to be resolved.
Ever since we've lifted our eyes to the night sky, we've marveled at all those shimmering points of light and wondered what lay beyond. With our powerful ground-based telescopes, we've discovered the answer. There are even more little points of light, many of which are full-blown galaxies just like ours. 100 billion galaxies in all, each containing about 100 billion stars.
With our space-based Hubble telescope, we've discovered even more surprising things about galaxies. Although it took a while, after launching the Hubble telescope in 1990, astronomers discovered that it was nearsighted due to a defective mirror. Fortunately, 3 years later, astronauts managed to repair it, much to the delight of astronomers around the world.
The Hubble Space Telescope, for the first time, let us get above the Earth's atmosphere. It made an enormous difference, like putting on a pair of eyeglasses. Suddenly, we could see the universe very clearly.
The Space Telescope has also turned out to be a fitting tribute to astronomer Edwin Hubble. Back in the 1920s at Pasadena's Mount Wilson Observatory, Hubble first discovered something very surprising. All the galaxies in the universe are moving away from each other, like pieces of shrapnel from some huge explosion.
This is what's led to this idea of a Big Bang universe. That is, that the universe began in a state of infinitely high temperature and density and has expanded ever since.
For the past 6 decades, the Big Bang Theory has been little more than an educated guess. But now, picking up where Hubble the man left off, Hubble the telescope has all but cinched it. For as far as its powerful glass eye can see, out to the farthest horizon of the visible universe, galaxies are indeed flying away from each other. With this space-based detector, astronomers have also seen what appears to be the Big Bang's afterglow, a cold, faint light coming to us from all directions.
Because the astronomers have so well confirmed the basic picture of the Big Bang, and now makes sense to look at it in more detail and try to explain how it got started.
In daring to speculate about the details of what happened at that mysterious first moment of creation, scientists have teamed up the science of the very large with the science of the very small.
The universe began as a quantum fluctuation, a quantum jump, starting from absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing means a situation completely devoid of either space or time.
Suppose this glass of soda water corresponds to absolutely nothing. According to Guth, the cosmos suddenly popped into existence like a tiny bubble and began to expand. It wasn't so much a Big Bang as it was a very, very rapid swelling.
The expansion was driven by a peculiar kind of substance that many particle theories predict should exist, which actually creates a gravitational repulsion.
That peculiar substance was so powerfully repulsive, Guth believes, it inflated the infant universe faster than the speed of light, shattered space as if it were made of glass, and led ultimately to the multiplicity of subatomic particles we see today. So what happened after those first momentous events? Well, after looking carefully at the cores of about 36 galaxies, including our own Milky Way, astronomers are spotting evidence for something totally unexpected.
They all seem to have massive black holes in them.
A black hole's gravitational field is so powerful, so irresistible, nothing that enters its deadly sphere of influence, not even a light ray, can escape. That's why you can't see a black hole, though its super-powerful gravity does make surrounding stars orbit faster than usual, and surrounding gases heat up so much they glow.
You compute the gravitational mass, you examine that region in space, and there doesn't appear to be anything there that's emitting light or reflecting light, so the inference is it's a black hole.
Even more surprising, if this new discovery is true, black holes could very well be important agents of creation. Back when the universe was less than 1 billion years old, matter started clumping together. Some of those clumps became so dense they formed black holes, and that's how galaxies might have been born. As swirling pinwheels of matter being sucked into those early black holes, like water swirling down a drain. So many of them, in fact, they started bumping into each other. Astronomers now realize this is how galaxies grow. When they collide, they merge. The bigger one devours the smaller one. A kind of cosmic cannibalization you see in this picture of a bloated, elliptically shaped galaxy.
We think they were very common at the beginning of the universe. Probably the elliptical galaxy we see here was the product of one or more mergers in the past. And this is another merger, a relatively small merger as things go, which happened fairly recently.
As galaxies started to grow and collide, look there in the blue haze. Stars began to flare up like so many thermonuclear bombs. And after that came the planets. Look at this extraordinary infrared picture of debris swirling around a newborn star, and you can actually see a clean area around the center. There, astronomers think, is where the debris is being swept together to form a small new planet.
With our powerful new telescopes, we're just now beginning to realize that planets are plentiful. In fact, given what we're discovering, it's very likely that there are billions, even trillions of them out there. A humbling revelation given the arrogance it once took to believe that we were the center of the universe. A stunning achievement given the cleverness it's taken to figure out that we're not.
Actually, it seems we're not only not the center of the universe, we're only beginning to figure out how little we really do know. In a moment, strange new questions.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Pepsid AC Asset Controller.
You remember
that foul ball.
Yeah, you were 12, a hot dog in each hand. I reached up and snatched that ball right out of the sky.
But this time the hot dogs are on me.
I wish I could.
Oh, but Dad, you can. Take this Pepsid AC before you eat. Heartburn stops before it starts.
Before I eat?
Yeah.
You get us the hot dogs, and I'll get us another foul ball.
You can be heartburn free with Pepsid AC.
Hey, Grandpa, tonight we'll be at your house, and I got a surprise for you.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light you see, darling, darling,
isn't it a good surprise?
Stand by me.
The Sabre by Buick. Peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Tomorrow, is the world catching on fire? 3 continents are choked with smoke. El Nino is not to blame. So what is? Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Hi, I'm Steve Flatt, the minister at the Madison Church of Christ. And I want to invite you to join me for the Amazing Grace Bible class every Sunday morning at 7:30 right here on Channel 2. For over 25 years, the Madison Church of Christ has sponsored the Amazing Grace class. And I try to bring you lessons about real life issues and introduce you to the real God who sees us through those issues. If you're not a regular viewer of Amazing Grace, just watch one time, and I think you will be. I'll see you this Sunday morning at 7:30 for Amazing Grace.
Our ability to compete and succeed depends on education. These students achieve the highest in academic excellence. I'm proud to introduce to you the 1998 Best of the Class.
Congratulations to the 1998 Best of the Class, brought to you by KFC, the Tennessee Oilers, and News 2.
Now comes the really weird part. You figure the universe ought to make sense, and maybe it does. Just not yet. Michael Gillen continues.
In the past few months, right when they were celebrating their newest eye-opening achievements, astronomers were blindsided by the apparent discovery of something unnerving. A kind of destabilizing force field that could damage some of our most cherished scientific notions.
I especially didn't really want to believe that. I thought, oh no, you know, so many people have gone down that road. We don't want to be down there.
And that's not all. Astronomers have also discovered something embarrassing. The universe seems to be much younger than we expected. Younger even than some of its stars.
What's going on here? How can you have objects in the universe that are older than the universe itself?
And finally, astronomers have discovered something unbelievable. The heavens appear to be filled with some very strange kind of invisible matter.
I think the stun part comes from realizing the universe might be very different from what you thought it was.
Although there have been slight variations in the Big Bang Theory, the overall big picture has always been pretty much the same. Namely, ever since the universe began to expand, the force of gravity has been working against it, causing the universe to slow down, like brakes on a car. Since the 1930s, that simple concept has been considered a basic truth.
The thing that everybody in their heart thought was right may turn out not to be true. That is, the evidence looks pretty good now that the universe hasn't been slowing down as much as you'd predict.
Astronomer Robert Kirshner came to that jarring realization while looking at supernovae, exploding stars so bright they can be seen from clear across the universe 100 billion trillion miles away.
The supernovae look dimmer than you'd expect, and that corresponds to bigger distances. That corresponds to a universe that's actually been speeding up, an accelerating universe.
Suppose you are the astronomer and I'm a supernova. As the universe expands, I move away from you and get dimmer and dimmer. Simple. But the new discovery seems to show that I am moving away faster, getting dimmer faster, than the Big Bang Theory predicts. It's as if I'm being repelled from you by some powerful anti-gravitational force.
Calling it anti-gravity upsets a few physicists because it sounds like science fiction, but it is in fact what it is. It really is a gravitational repulsion which causes the universe to expand faster and faster.
And if this idea is confirmed, it really will revolutionize many of our ideas, current understanding of physics and the evolution of the universe.
It could mean, for example, that the universe will expand forever, slowly pulling everything apart, unraveling every living thing, even the atoms, until the very last star is stuffed out.
Eventually, all the elaborate chemical elements, like carbon and calcium and iron, the things we're made of, might actually disintegrate if you wait long enough. And it would take you to a dark, cold, lonely universe.
The question of just how fast the universe is expanding is especially important to astronomer Wendy Friedman. She uses that information to calculate the age of the universe.
In a sense, it's like a movie. We can run it backwards, and we can, from that measurement of the expansion rate now, deduce how long the universe must have been expanding and therefore its age.
So, how old is the universe? Well, if you take the positions and speeds of all the objects we can see today using our best telescopes and project them backwards using our best computers, then
the measurements that I and my colleagues have made with the Hubble Space Telescope are indicating an age somewhere in the range of 9 to 12 billion years.
That's pretty old, but it turns out some of the stars we've dated appear to be even older, leaving astronomers scratching their heads and wondering what's going on.
It'd be like my daughter coming to me and telling me that she's older than I am. It's just not a natural phenomenon. Parents precede their children, and the universe preceded the objects in the universe. So there's a paradox.
We thought we'd save one of the most astounding revelations for last. It's just ahead.
No, I don't need vinyl siding. This is an apartment. I can't get away from these salesmen. I'm Jim. Hi, Jim. This is for you. Hello. And make sure you deal with a pro, like your GMC dealer. It's closer than you think. Here, let's take a look.
You want the genuine article? GMC is a great selection. And with 1.9% APR GMAC financing for up to 36 months, it's easier than ever to get your hands on the real thing. Skip the wannabes and see a nice GMC dealer near you.
Oh, no, don't get it.
With AT&T One Rate International, it costs $1.82 to make a 14-minute call from the U.S. to Canada. With 10321, it's $2.80. With AT&T One Rate International, it costs $1.50 to make a 10-minute call from the U.S. to the U.K. With 10321, it's $6.40. Surprised? 9 out of 10 calls from home cost less with One Rate International without dialing extra digits. And that could make a world of difference. So give us a call today.
Hi, this is your Carrier Indoor Weather Report. Just dandy in Death Valley, Alaska, New Orleans, and everywhere else you find Carrier Indoor Weather Systems making weather the way you like it. Long-range weather forecast? Peachy.
Carrier custom-made indoor weather.
Hey, Miami, Dr. Scholes wants to know, how do you treat your feet?
Being in the sun, my feet and legs take a beating. Really dry.
We have a new cracked skin repair cream. It has a moisture-attracting ingredient to help repair dry, cracked skin.
Very soft. Nice. Do you have someone at home to give you a foot massage? No, but I'll find somebody.
Coming up.
Well, I'll be if I'll let some 9021 hoe scoop my man.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. Coming up on ABC Late Night.
Our ability to compete and succeed depends on education. These students achieve the highest in academic excellence. I'm proud to introduce to you the 1998 Best of the Class.
Congratulations to the 1998 Best of the Class, brought to you by KFC, the Tennessee Oilers, and News 2. Storm Tracker 2000, exclusively on News 2. Far and away the best radar in Nashville. Whenever severe weather threatens, the Mid-South turns to Storm Tracker 2000. Storm Tracker 2000 really helps you be prepared for a storm. The best part is Storm Tracker 2000 can zoom in on small towns. Storm Tracker 2000 giving you earlier warnings with pinpoint accuracy. Kudos to Storm Tracker 2000. Keep up the great job. When severe weather threatens, turn to Storm Tracker 2000, exclusively on News 2.
We really do know more about the universe than we ever have. But how much is that? Once more, Michael Gillen.
Every time we get a surprise, it means we've learned something we didn't know about. And I think that's great. That's the way you should do science.
33 years ago, Vera Rubin started studying spiral-shaped galaxies and ended up coming face to face with a strange kind of invisible matter.
I really set out just to learn how spirals orbited, why they came in different kinds, and I thought maybe if I understood galaxies, I would understand other things.
And she was right. One day, while peering at those beautiful galaxies, she noticed they were whirling so fast that by all rights, the stars within them should have been flying off like sparks from a 4th of July pinwheel. What was holding them together and causing them to spin so fast in the first place?
It's clear from the motions of stars in galaxies that the stars are being accelerated by an enormous amount of matter that we can't see. And hence the idea of dark matter.
Unlike ordinary matter that emits or reflects light, dark matter is completely invisible. And yet, judging from its effects throughout the heavens, this exotic stealth-like matter is far more pervasive than common visible matter.
It might be that most of the universe is in a form of matter that's not the kind that we see or taste or feel or are made of, that there's this kind of ghostly background of particles that we're not sensitive to that constitute most of the universe.
Like 90%.
Like 90%.
The implications of that are staggering, because it means that within the universe we have been studying all along, for all these centuries, we have been overlooking 90% of what's there. It's a demoralizing thought, but astronomers are confident that by early next century, their super-sensitive telescopes will be able to resolve the mystery.
It's fascinating that we can actually look at properties of the universe and try and understand something about how it came to be, how it's changing with time, perhaps what its fate will be. And all that we're using is information that's coming to us from light, from distance.
We're just getting an early glimmer of what's going to turn out to be the real story of how the universe is constructed.
But despite astronomers' current optimism, the real story might take longer than they think. After all, the images that come to us from far away are distorted by a whole lot of dust in our own galaxy and solar system. So until our telescopes and satellites can rise above all that natural pollution, inevitably, our understanding of the cosmos will remain cloudy and imperfect. As we strain to see the light, only one thing is clear. The more questions we answer, the more answers we end up questioning. For Nightline, I'm Michael Gillen.
When we come back, a few final words from ABC's senior science correspondent, Michael Gillen.
Imagine every word you've ever read, ever spoken, sent from one end of your world to the other flawlessly, all in the time it takes for a shooting star to light the sky. Quest has harnessed the speed of light, and the world is about to become a very different place.
Yo, down here. I'm the Brooklyn Bridge. You think you could take me? You want a piece of me, huh? Let's go. You and me. Right now.
The undeniably smooth, ever luxurious ES300. The road is calling. Answer it.
I got your fancy suspension right here.
10. Savage Garden. 9. Puff Daddy. 8. Aqua. 7. all say
6.
Henson.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The biggest selling names in music. Mariah Carey.
The most glamorous principality in Europe.
Monaco.
Be there and be prepared to be blown away when ABC presents the World Music Awards.
Thanks for giving us love. Thank you very much.
I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thursday at 9. Yeah. Hosted by Gloria Estefan and Jason Priestley. ABC Thursday at 9, 8 Central.
Come along.
Mailman, it's been a long time.
Whoa! Mailman! You grew hair!
That's right. Couldn't have done it without my Rogaine.
The new Rogaine Extra Strength for Men. It's concentrated. It gets more to the root to grow 45% more hair than the original.
Nice rebound.
Carl, sign my Rogaine. The new Rogaine. 45% more hair.
It delivers for me.
It's a big hole in the ground and in the pockets of taxpayers. As Lexington's mayor, Scotty Basler gave his cronies inside information about the site for a new cultural center. They bought up the land with money from Kentucky Central Life Insurance. Then the real estate market crashed. Basler bailed out Kentucky Central with $7 million taxpayer dollars. The state auditor said Basler paid Kentucky Central over $3 million more than it was worth. The governor said Basler's deal didn't pass the smell test. Basler and Kentucky Central, an insider deal gone bad.
And joining us now from our Boston Bureau is Michael Gillen. And Michael, of all the very strange ideas that you were kicking around in tonight's report, the one that I really am having trouble with is the notion that the universe could somehow be younger than some of the stars that are in it. Now, how in the world do you do that?
It's pretty weird. My guess, Forrest, is we're going to find out that indeed the universe is accelerating, as we've recently discovered, which means that the universe has been expanding slower in the past than it is now, which means it's taken longer to get where it is now than we are giving it credit for, which means that it is older than we are giving it credit for.
Is it possible, as they're sorting through all of these very complicated calculations, that they've maybe put one number in the wrong place or something, and they're kind of going down the wrong road because the calculations are wrong?
Yeah, it is possible. Most astronomers believe they're going to be able to salvage the Big Bang Theory, that's pretty solid. But the truth of it is we're always one discovery away, either from confirming our theories or from demolishing our theories, Forrest. And that's what makes astronomy either so exciting and unnerving. And right now it's a 50-50 chance. It could go either way.
I recall in the report here, one of the scientists said, 5 to 10 years from now, we're going to know the answers to the big questions. Now, when we go back to him 5 to 10 years from now, do you think he's going to say, see, I told you?
Gee, I've been hearing that kind of prediction for the last 20 years, and people before me have been hearing that. Forrest, I think the basic problem in science is that every time we answer one question, we raise a whole nother bunch of questions. And so I think that the odds are that we're probably going to take 5 to 10,000 more years before we answer all the questions.
Now, it's awfully interesting. The Hubble Space Telescope is really only looking in a certain band of light. It's light, but it's only looking in a certain place. Coming down the road, some more telescopes. What does that mean?
Well, you know, what's interesting is that the universe reveals itself in different kinds of light. For example, the R-rated universe, what I call the very violent universe, reveals itself in ultraviolet, gamma ray, X-rays. The G-rated universe, the kind of the ordinary universe that you and I see, reveals itself in the ordinary visible, the optical range that the Hubble telescope is so good at looking at. And then the mild-mannered aspects of the universe, you know, the planetary births, the birth of a star, very gentle aspects of the universe, are revealed in the infrared and in the microwave. And the beauty of it is that in the years to come, NASA's already lining up telescopes that are going to be able to see the universe in all those lights. So the first time, in a sense, we'll be able to see the universe in its full Technicolor glory. And that's very, very exciting.
Just a few seconds left, Michael. Give us a sense, the magnitude of this revolution in thinking. It seems staggering.
I remember a professor I had at Cornell in cosmology, and he hung his head and he said, you know, I just don't think we're ever going to be able to answer all the questions about the universe. We don't have the wherewithal. But now I think we do. He can hold his head high. These new telescopes are going to be able to open our eyes, see where the universe came from, where it's going, and where we fit in this glorious cosmos of ours. And that's very exciting.
It's remarkable. Senior science correspondent Michael Gillen, thanks for giving us a glimpse tonight.
You bet, Forrest.
That is our report for tonight. For the latest overnight developments, watch Good Morning America tomorrow. I'm Forrest Sawyer in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
Nightline has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.